Bloxia. How you doing? This is our August Bloxcast, relocated to Friday instead of Saturday, since we're going to be remodeling in our studio environment here over the weekend, and we thought, hey, why not? This is actually the second time we've done 3 broadcasts in a row. We had our next level on Wednesday, we had a special Clan Battle edition yesterday, and here we are today with our Bloxcast. It's going to be sort of a shortened Bloxcast. We're going to take your questions, and then afterwards we're going to go into our usual Friday broadcast of Let's Play. But first, before we get into the questions, and if you do have questions, please post them in the Roblox forums or send it to us on Twitter. Make sure you use the hashtag Roblox so that we see it. So send those questions in. We've already got a whole bunch here queued up on my iPad. But first, a couple members of our team did the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge earlier today. So we're going to go over to that, and then we're going to come back to you, our community, with a challenge for you as well. So let's see that clip.
Are you ready? Let's do this thing.
Okay, that was a teaser clip. If you want to see the whole thing, it's actually up now on YouTube, but don't go to YouTube, stay right here. Hang around for the Q&A. It's going to be there, you can catch it later. But now it's time to go into our Q&A. If you look at the clip on YouTube, you'll also see that we are challenging you, our community, to also get involved with the Ice Bucket Challenge, but in a particularly Roblox way. And this afternoon, later this afternoon, we're going to have an ice bucket up in the catalog for you to buy and to douse yourself or your friends or your enemies. All of the proceeds from that ice bucket in the catalog are going to go to ALS, so we invite you to take that challenge, and we'll keep you posted on our contribution when we make that. So let's roll into our Q&A. Today I have with me Sorkus.
Hi.
Troll extraordinaire. Yes. And Matt Dusek. Is this the first time we've had you?
This is the first time.
This is the first time we've had him on Bloxcast. But Matt's been with Roblox pretty much since the beginning. So a font of historical wisdom as well as a technical genius. So let's get right into the questions. Articulated physics and global ragdoll system when? That's from Warzone 200. Either of you want to take that one?
I can take that one. So articulated physics was like an experimental project that we tried to do. We still have that as one of our things in our backlog for stuff to do. We are experimenting with it. It's a highly experimental project in terms of and revolutionary if you look at it that way, because most other platforms do not support something like that. But we are actively looking for more people to work on this, so look for this in the future.
I think it's just worth saying too, we love that as much as you guys do.
Yes,
we want it.
Right.
It's one of our favorite features.
Yeah, just need to make sure it happens properly.
Right, and what we were showing last year was in, sort of in a closed off sandbox. It was, like one truck. There's a big difference from going from something in the concept phase to having an active live place with, say, 20 trucks and everybody in them and everything working properly. So that's what we need to be working on now. But we have not forgotten about it. As Matt says, we're as eager to see it as you are. Joey Raslito asks, will packages ever go limited? I'll take that one. We think this is an interesting idea, but as you know, a package is not just one item. A package is a wrapper for several individual items, a head, a torso, arms, legs. So we have to do it in such a way. It requires some development work to make sure that if you buy a package, you can sell the package and not just the individual pieces of that. That's really not what we're interested in seeing. We'd like the package to be able to be sold as an entity. So it is something we've been thinking about for a while, but again, we need to think through some of the development challenges around that. Let's see. profile views, will you bring them back? Matt, do you want to?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So we...
That's from Cool Kid 123.
I guess it's worth knowing that people were interested in them and got value in them. We definitely removed them because of some scalability challenges. I think
some
there
abuse.
some abuse. It's a solvable problem, and so I think it just helps to know that it's something the community wants, so we can prioritize it.
Okay. Will there be? This is from Spongo Cardo. Asks, will there be new scripting APIs soon? For example, the API for solid modeling in scripts was mentioned as coming out. Will there be any others we should be keeping an eye on?
So there is a lot of API in the works, not just like CSG or solid modeling is one of our major projects right now, and we want it to be fully scriptable, so we're working on that. But at the same time, you're going to be seeing more and more API related to like UTP universes as well, so you can make like more powerful games with them and like connect them better, and a lot of cleanup of existing APIs so you can use them better as well. So this is like an ongoing process. The total answer is yes. We will always be adding more API and cool features to the product.
And following on from that, Chedley asks, will CSG parts get proper collision and physics? I'm tired of walking on top of my soup bowl.
Interesting that you should ask that. This is one of the major features we are working on at the moment. This is a rather unusual challenge and a really highly technical challenge at that. Our physics lead is actively working on this, which is if you make a complex shape, it's going to collide exactly like that. If you make a sword, we want it to collide exactly like that. The soup bowl is the best example.
And Deepak, do you know, is it the case that we're gradually rolling that out, so we'll get some improvements to the way the CSG parts collide, but maybe not perfect in every scenario?
So that is correct. So there will be like initial versions of it, and then there is also like we can do initial optimizations where it's not necessarily completely accurate, but it also collides as the shape it's supposed to collide.
Right.
So again, this is one of those things that we want to constantly improve. This is release and iterate. This is a constant process in making any physics engine.
Alex Rocks 911 asks, will we get an option to make our text label text bold, italic, underlined, or have colored gradient or shading?
We absolutely. So this is one of those things where it's a lot of UI related features that we absolutely want to add, including but not limited to the text labels and new and improved text box and a whole host of features. This is directly related to how many resources we have, in the future or like in the near future, you're going to see some major UI improvements, and this will include these features for sure.
Let's see. Fisk48 asks, is Roblox going to add something like biathlon or ice hockey to the 2015 Winter Games? Or is everything still being decided? Everything is still being decided. Yeah, we are going to have the Winter Games in January. But before then, we've got coming up right in the middle of clan battles. We've got Roblox University coming in September. We have a lot of cool stuff coming for Halloween in October. Totally new game for that this year. November, we've got Black Friday and a special game around Thanksgiving. And we've got stuff on for holiday in December. So we've got several months of things to bring out before we get to the Winter Games, but they will be a lot of fun. Let's see. Also, Slurpy Guy asks, will OBC name change? You guys said it would on August 1st. I'm starting to wonder if you changed the date of the update. We actually didn't set a date of the update. We are going to be focusing OBC more on developers, as we have done throughout the year. When we introduced Developer Exchange, we made that a feature of OBC. So yes, it is going to be, the name will be changed. We don't have a date exactly by which we're going to do that then, but it will probably be within the next few weeks. Wheeler 2000 asks, will there ever be animated hats like Medusa hair with moving snakes?
So that one is interesting. if you combine our existing animations with CSG, that should be possible. So there is no reason. Our vision for the future lies in user-generated hats. We want to be in the business of everyone making hats for everyone else, and if you combine our existing animation system with the new CSG tools, yes, you should be able to make a Medusa hat, totally, and we should be able to make that possible for you.
Natsu Dragmeal asks, when will we be able to bend the shape of the brick I want to cut out with the CSG thing?
Bend
The shape of the brick. I
So-
think you can do that now, can't you?
Yes. So it's not as much as bending the shape of a brick as much as unioning and subtracting. So it's a little more complex process. Solid modeling involves just one action at a time. So the bending would involve more than one action. You should be able to do this right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Third Blocks asks, DevX gave Robux real-world value, and I'm a currency trader looking to move up into the trade system and game development. Has Roblox considered a system that will let you buy BC with Robux? Do you wanna-
Yeah, I think that's an
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
question, and I think without setting off any alarms anywhere, I can say yes, we've considered it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that any decisions have been made about that, but it's been under consideration. We really appreciate
Yep.
the importance of Robux and sort of unifying as many things as possible behind Robux.
I mean, right now, there's one way for Robux to enter the economy, and that's through purchase, either buying Robux straight out or getting it through Builders Club. And there's one way, well, actually two ways really, for Robux to exit the economy. One is through DevX, and the other is through the tax that we have on purchases. So right now, that's the way things go. If we were looking at, we don't have a highway now for Robux to be used to purchase things that are only purchasable in dollars. So that would, it sounds simple and it sounds like something that could be interesting, but at the same time, it actually requires a fair bit of analysis to see how that would affect the economy.
Yeah, the Roblox economy, both virtual and real, is very important to a lot of people, and so we make careful moves when we make changes. This would definitely be one of those.
Ovro asks, will we ever be able to schedule updates for our games?
That's a great idea, and I think that's another one that falls into the category Deepak talked about, where resources would be the limiting factor. It's a great idea, and maybe even beyond that, being able to programmatically push updates to your games, maybe from GitHub or something like that.
Dramatic Zeke 3 asks, can you trade in player points for Robux in the future? No.
Nope. Never.
Player points are not a currency. It's really, it's used to provide a yardstick for achievements. We never intended it to be, another currency on top of Robux and tickets. So you won't see player points translating that way. Anthony SB asks, what games do you play besides Roblox? Deepak plays everything.
I play pretty much everything, but I play, if anyone asks me on Steam, some of our users actually have me friended on Steam. Most of the time I'm in this game called Dota 2. That would be the game that I play, but then I play a lot of single player games and indie games and stuff like that. Starbound is some other game I'm playing right now. And Divinity Original Sin. Those are some of the things that I'm playing right now. But Dota 2 will be something I'll always play. That's my personal. I'm not sure, Matt, do you want to?
There are games other than Roblox.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
I go old school still. I still love games like Smash TV. I like some of the Call of Duty games, especially World at War. Love the old N64 GoldenEye game.
Yeah,
Cosmic
that
Encounter on the
yeah.
board game side.
N64 GoldenEye is one of the best games. If someone hasn't played it, they should play it.
Yeah, there aren't really many first-person shooters that equal that.
That's correct.
Yeah. And I'm revisiting some old favorites at the moment. I was just on vacation in Wyoming a couple of weeks ago, and while we were going through the Grand Tetons, my kid said, "Oh my God, it's like Skyrim," and it actually is. It looks like Skyrim. So we're playing Skyrim again, and I've also been playing some of the Ratchet and Clank games, and we're actually eagerly awaiting Sunset Overdrive. Testing the Universe asks, when will dynamic lights not be a circular blob?
Oh, I see. We haven't considered adding other shapes, or I'm not too sure about what the actual question is there.
Just maybe higher precision on.
Yeah, I don't think we don't have point lights with
I see.
with dynamic lighting now, right?
We do have point.
We do have point lights.
We have spotlights and point lights for sure. I'm a little confused.
We need to look into it.
Okay.
Yes, we will totally look into it. So that's interesting. So the question was, why are dynamic lighting all blobs?
Blobby, yeah.
Circular-
I guess maybe it's
circular
more
blobs.
the sharpness and the precision.
Right. So this has got directly to do with what we call as internally the lighting grid. We use a voxel grid system to light it up. As you know, like Roblox's dynamics lighting system is far more advanced than most things, which is you could have thousands of lights in your games, and this comes with certain things that we have to take a backseat on, like certain things we have to say compromise. This is the certain compromise you make to have more and more lighting and complete dynamic lighting to slightly lesser precision. I think that's what the question is. So we don't have anything in the works, but we will look into it.
Tamland asks, will there ever be a feature that allows you to create your own faces?
Boy, we've been talking about
Yeah.
that since there were faces.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the ideas we were interested in. And I think, again, without making any promises, what we can say is we'd like to see more and more things at Roblox being driven by developers and the community. So maybe that could lead. We'll see.
And leading on from that was Mushu Meow asks, do you plan on ever allowing players to design their own gear or items such as hair? For example, having default hair but with a color picker.
Yeah, sort of the same answer,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
It's the same.
I mean, I think, and Dave has said this before, that our ultimate goal is for really everything on Roblox to be created by the community. And that includes the stuff that you see, in the catalog now. Gear, clothing, packages, hair, hats, the whole works. Obviously, we have to consider there's a lot of legacy items in place right now. We wouldn't want to just open everything up and wake up on Monday and find out that there's 1,500 Dominuses in the catalog. There are items that are out there now that have value. So we need to and have been thinking about how do we work our way towards that. But we've introduced things like there are people who are able to create their own animations now. So we've been opening things up slowly, but all that is stuff that we've talked about repeatedly. PatsFan23 asks, what do you think the best computer to run Roblox games is? My computer makes my games lag a lot and takes a while to load it up.
That is interesting because it is very game specific. Roblox itself takes up some resources, but the game you're playing right now could drastically affect the performance of your current experience. To just give a raw specifications, ideally you would be running something like an i3 at least. Not a current generation. There's no need to be current generation. One of the things that we really want is even if you go back in a very old machine, we want Roblox to run. The real reason for this is the hardware on iPad 2 is really comparable to a laptop 6 years ago. So since we want to support that, we also want to support your laptop that's from 6 or 7 years ago. So we really want more details on what the specifications is. But generally, I suggest something like, an i3 with at least 2 gigs of RAM or 4 ideally, and that'll make most games, or if not all games on Roblox, just run just perfectly fine.
Epic Night Builderman asks, will Roblox ever make rocket jumping?
I saw something about that just recently.
We
didn't
have
I?
worked on this, and this is possible with the latest the body star objects that we have, physics objects. This should be possible. And one of our developers actually had a demo. The gameplay programmer Vince actually had a demo about flying with rockets.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've seen people, the jetpack simulator
Yeah.
that one of our developers did at one of the maker fairs too. Yeah, good idea. Let's see. Cryptize asks, will there be any upcoming features that will benefit people who make videos? I know we've talked about, and we're still working on, for example, could you have like a movie theater in a game, on which you could show videos?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's still there are some technical challenges around that we still have to look at. But it's a great idea.
Seems like we've been adding a lot of things that you can put on surfaces in games.
That's correct.
Who knows where that's leading to?
Yeah.
Bunny Loves 332 asks, can you make the mobile version of Roblox not crash a lot? My sister does not have a laptop and has an iPad, and we want to play together, but she always crashes. I think that must be one of those.
Mobile is one of our core focus right now. There are a lot of different things that could cause a crash on mobile right now, and we are actively trying to fix and make this as good of an experience as possible.
We've already had a lot of success on this, right? We track the crash rate on mobile on a continuous basis. We've cut that down significantly. I don't know if there are any numbers we want to discuss right now.
I'm not sure of the numbers, but it's like 9 out of 10 crashes have been fixed.
Right. And we're not resting until we drive that down
correct.
significantly further.
That's good.
Jacob Daily TV asks, will there ever be 100 plus player servers?
I bet there will.
Yes. It's an ongoing thing. We are continuously working towards allowing more and more players per server. It's something that we need to focus on. We need to continue doing this, and this is one of our from the beginning, the vision that we had was hundreds of players playing in a given game.
Yeah, I was in this game, Rome Parthia, just recently. Deepak, I don't know if you know anything about that game or not.
I'm not sure about that game.
So that game makes me want 100 player servers and larger. It's crying for it.
Let's see. Warcallers asks, what do you have planned for Halloween? Biggest map ever, right?
Bigger than last year.
Yeah. No, it will not be bigger than last year, but it will be.
It's not mathematically possible.
It's going to take you probably about 20, 25 hours to walk across the entire map. No, the Halloween game we're working on it now, and it's very cool. It will be spookier than last year. That's one of the things we wanted to work towards this year. So stay tuned. No details yet. Let's see. Could you add things like taunts, a bit like e-dance, but the person who paid for them is the only one who can use them? That's from Proper Scouser.
Right. So this is something we have discussed in the past. We have default animation states. We have talked about selling special ones, but I'm not sure where we lie on that, especially since we kind of want animations to be made as from the users as well. So how much of it should be driven by us and how much of it should be driven by us is something we are currently discussing.
Right.
A couple questions about the our Ice Bucket Challenge. Ice Bucket, how much Robux will the Ice Bucket cost? That's from Francis Lee Plays MC. I hope the MC does not stand for Minecraft. We're looking at, I believe it's going to be 10 Robux. And somebody, also Real TGD asks, will the Ice Bucket be limited? No, it will not be limited. Let's see. Will there be, Mini-Meep asks, will there be an online school for Lua? I think stay tuned for Roblox University in September. Miguel M83185559. Well,
That's why I couldn't get that name.
yeah. Boy, try. You too?
I tried.
Yeah. Sorkus, what do you do in the Roblox HQ?
Oh, other than trolling people, which is
That's a full-time job, let's be honest.
That's a full-time job. I'm going to be honest about that. I help run the games team, and recently I've involved myself in some parts of the website as well. That's pretty much what I do. And I play games and troll some.
Yeah. Actually, even though it was not SLS, Matt, you want to talk a little bit about what you do as well?
Sure, yeah. I work with the entire web team, designing every system in the web stack. Databases, front end, middleware, the whole stack up and down.
And Matt is also our resident savant when it comes to looking at the Roblox economy and, if we do this, what's the impact going to be, tracking how, developers are doing with DevX.
Yeah,
we really appreciate
definitely
it.
have a lot of interest in the economy.
Yep. Sonic Ninja 2 asks, could you guys add developer features to make mobile compatibility easier?
We have a project right now.
Yeah.
Give us a month and you're going to see the ability to connect the studio on your computer and test your iPad. This is like one of our top things. Again, the more mobile centric we want to be, the more features you want to support mobile. Mm-hmm. We are also considering features like you should be able to simulate mobile on your desktop. So if you're like working without an iPad, you should still be able to test as if it's an iPad.
And also just some practical features like the ability to designate whether your game is built to support mobile or not, and have it show up in the appropriate sorts on the games page.
That's correct.
Okay. Andrew, if you could shoot me a few more, and
That's like your last batch.
Okay, you got it there. Screamy, how much time do we have? We have 3 minutes. It's time to go for the rapid fire. Compressed Bread asks, will the 2-minute limit for sounds ever be increased? Yes. In fact, I think you should expect that fairly soon. RBX Minimeep1 asks, multiple skyboxes within one game, so if you go to another planet, a new sky would show up.
Interesting.
That is an interesting idea. Right now, we envision that as you just teleporting to a different server, or replacing the existing skybox.
Yeah, is it possible to just programmatically change the textures for your existing skybox?
But it's global.
So not on a per player
that's
basis.
Right. That cannot be on a per player basis.
Slice of Butter asks, will there be more achievements, badges, other than the default ones, Homestead and such? Funny you should ask about that. I was just writing up a new list for badges this morning.
They need some attention, yeah.
Yeah, so
nice.
That is coming. A whole batch of new badges. Do we want to? Yeah, let's see. Will we have more options to customize our profiles, like posing our character, drawing our own profile picture and backgrounds? That's from Wally the Mammoth.
Lots of conversation about that. I can tell you that there are some engineers who are seriously interested in providing that for you.
Swagmesta J asks, will the dev team deal with exploiters and hackers who are using Cheat Engine?
So this is an ongoing battle. This is the battle that we have to wage. Now recently we introduced filtering enable, which is the ability for you to stop exploiters in your game for the most part, but adaptation of that is a slow process, and developers are slowly and more and more of them are using it, which will stop most exploiters from doing any nasty stuff in the game.
Okay. Epic55449 asks, will Roblox ever have a Roblox studio on iPad?
Boy, I hope so.
Colton JL asks, will the Lua type function ever support objects like the brick color value?
Lua type functions. So we don't usually clobber what is part of the Lua API versus what is part of our objects. Brick color is like a Roblox object, and type is like a function from Lua. So we want to keep it that way. So when you say type of a brick color, it will say user data and not brick color. And we kind of want to keep it that way. If you really want to do that, we can provide, usually you should go for the class name. But in case of brick color, C-frame, or vector 3s, you are not able to check that. We have some discussion about how to let the user know, the developer know how to identify these things.
Ace Falcon 73 asks, will there ever be a real Roblox economy system with things such as graphs of the value of currency as time goes on and such?
Yes.
We actually have some of those now, and we will be making a lot of that data available through the developer tab on in your profile. So we're actually focusing first on getting game-specific data to developers.
Right.
Swimmy Eli Roblox asks, will you ever add more terrain bricks like lava?
We have discussed about that. This is again one of those ongoing discussions on whether material properties of terrain should actually have physical properties, like Minecraft does, or some other. A lot of games do this actually. It's not just Minecraft. Minecraft is the most popular example. This is an ongoing discussion. I don't think I can actually provide a concrete answer for that one.
And somewhat similar, how about realistic dynamic water, such as water that fills its space, flows, bubbles, and follows gravity?
Well, I think that sort of falls into the research interest areas. There are a couple people in the company that are actively thinking about that.
Okay. I think, is that it? Is that our time? That is our time.
Okay.
So, thanks very much, Sorkus, Matt. We will be back in September. Lots of great stuff happening in September. Roblox University will be starting the first week in September and running throughout the month. We'll be doing a lot of special streaming around Roblox University. And so stay tuned for that. We also are, for those of you in the New York area, Maker Faire New York City is the 20th and 21st of September out at the New York Hall of Science. Many of us will be there. I will be there. Sorkus will be there. Matt will not be there.
Not this time.
So looking forward to seeing all of you there. And for now, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with some Let's Play.
All right.